Hi, we are the geeks and degenerates. On start, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, we are back for the last entry in this week's Oscar run with, as you see in the thumbnail and description, The Life of Pi. I am Enzo. This is my forever co-host John, and yeah, um, this won the Best Picture back in 2013. It came out in 2012, so it won 10 years ago. And my question to you is, what's your first exposure to this movie?
again, kind of like how we started with RRR, where we're like movies that is look. I'm gonna say it. We had a stigma here. Like if it ain't like American looking or the West kind of styled, nobody really wanted to watch anything
Mm-hmm.
like that. It's this country based. Like it's either Korean or Chinese, or unless it's Jackie Chan. Nobody wanted to watch a movie like this at first glance back in the day, and I feel guilty for being one of those people. Because goddamn, this is a beautiful fucking movie. I wasn't able to watch it in theaters. Nobody wanted to watch it with me either because they're like, "Oh, it's what about it? Like, is this an Indian kid who gets stuck on a boat? Really, how exciting would that be?" And I mean, if you see the trailers, it looks great. But again, the whole stigma of like, hey, if it's not Western looking, nobody really wants to watch it, even though it is a Western movie.
Yeah.
But you get what I mean, right? Yeah, nobody wanted to watch or expand their cinematic wings.
Yeah.
Yeah, or field of view, Nobody wanted to try this country or that country. But yeah. But when I did watch it was a few years down the line, watching it on HBO, I remember clearly, and just being blown away by the way it looked.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I really regret not watching this in the cinema. Just imagine this, the soundtrack, the visuals, all in cinema.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm like, again, regret. But yeah, that's my exposure to that movie.
Yeah, like you, because of the stigma in our country, like if it's not American based or like anything else that's not Western, they're like, I'm not interested in it. But you're like, but it's made by a Western studio.
By the way, sorry, we're not saying that we kind of dislike other countries' movies. We dislike our own movies as well.
Yeah.
Trust us. When we were like, oh, Filipino film, ew.
Yeah.
Which should not be a case. Anyway, go on, Enzo.
Yeah, but there was a big stigma back in 2012 and 2013 of like, it's not Avengers or it's not some rom-com from the America. Yeah, no, thank you. But you're like, it kind of looks nice. I saw the trailers in the theater. I was like, that looks cool. But like you, I watched it in Star Movies because I would always catch like the middle part. So I'm always like, how did we get here though? I would always finish it too. I'm like, I guess I might as well watch it.
Dude, that's a lot of the times. Like, I could never watch a movie fully. It'd always be in the middle.
Yeah.
And then when I did watch it for real, I sat down, put it on. I was like, I didn't know it had a whole intro. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, cause like I know if your TV came with the schedule of like what movie came next. So like if Life of Pi was like at this hour, I'm like, oh shit, I need to sit down and watch this already, because I'm tired of getting the middle and him being like, I wish I could thank my father. I was like, I never met this father. What is he talking about? But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed always catching the middle, and then when I finally sat down and watched this properly on Netflix, I'm like, damn, this is a good movie. I guess getting right into it, I do like how it's set up where it's this Canadian interviewer interviewing Mr. Pai, and he just briefly explains the origins of his name. It's like, you have a peculiar last name, Pai. And it's like, oh well, it's because my dad named me from the place where my uncle spent in the finest pool you can ever find on earth. and the kids used to make fun of me because they would call me pissing. Until I, you know, took ownership of my name. I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'll win them over by impressing them by writing as many numbers to the pi formula as possible and just really wowing them where they will no longer make fun of me. And that's what he did. And I like the fact that this is not just about a survivor story. This has great philosophies on like life. But I think we should have added this actually to the lineup of Soul Searching, but like here we are.
Yeah. Well, no, we were discussing that we were supposed to put that in.
Yeah.
But then, like, we were doing Oscars right after we were doing the Valentine's Day specials, and I'm like, Life of Pi fits so well here, but I feel like it deserves to be more. The fact that it is like nominated or won an Oscar.
Won for director and overall best picture.
Yeah, but either way, like I know Oscars don't mean shit anymore, but I'm so happy that it got what it deserved.
Yeah. Unlike I do like the philosophy of finding religion, and like I'm an atheist, but like I agree with the parts that are good about religion, like when it comes to Christianity, like the love your neighbors like yourselves, the meek shall inherit the earth, all that jazz. I'm like, I like how when we were discussing about the Hindu religion, that these gods and goddesses were his heroes growing up, which makes sense for a kid who is introduced to religion that young. He's like, oh, these are my heroes. And if you know, like the Hindu religion, they're all composed of multiple gods and goddesses, and they all have their own unique origins, especially the one like that has the universe all in their mouth.
Yeah, but speaking of religion, Pi has 3.
Yeah.
So the man is Christian, Hindu,
and Muslim.
And he wanted to be baptized. I'm like, can we all mix it in a pot? I'm not sure if he's allowed to do that, but hey, which kind of opened my eyes. So I'm like, yeah, you know what? Religion, like one religion from another, isn't so different.
Yeah.
Like there's always the same goal: be nice, be good to your neighbors, kind of deal. It is always spoken throughout either the Bible or the Quran. It still has the same principles. Which really shocked me. That is the movie where I was like, I got, because we came from a very sketchy school where we're like, no other religions, no.
Yeah,
they're bad.
Christianity is the only way. We thought for like 11 years. Well, 11 years for me. And then we both, got out of the school and we're like, oh, the world is more. It's not black and white. It's more like a tapestry full of colors.
Exactly. And this movie did help me with that. Where it's like, oh, other religions can be together with other religions.
Yeah.
So,
But his dad doesn't want him to accept things blindly. He's like, I'd rather you have a religion that I disagree with than you just blindly accepting things. So I want you to reason with things, use reason. But that's why he's so disappointed when Pi doesn't use reason at all to like feed a tiger, which the family owns the zoo, of why there's a tiger in the boat in the middle of the movie. But he decides to like, you know what? I've seen the zookeeper feed Richard Parker a couple of times. How bad can it be? It's just stick your hand in and feed the tiger. But like he's just a kid, doesn't realize that you're feeding one of the most dangerous creatures on the planet, and like you just stare into this CGI creature's eyes, and like even though it's CGI, you're like, that's a terrifying look. I wouldn't.
It still looks great though. Like, yeah, we know it's CGI. Of course, they're not gonna let a kid stick his hand in with a tiger's cage.
Yeah.
But, like, yeah, we finally got, but we got a good picture of like Pi's dad's way of thinking.
Yeah.
He is that old style. Show him something traumatic so he'll learn something kind of father.
Yeah.
Yeah, and man's not religious, man's more of a science, which is nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But he is kind of too on the nose, where he kind of trashes on other religions, which is not a good thing.
Yeah. And that's where him and his wife conflict. Where she's like, he's still young, he's trying to figure out his way in life. And his father's like, no, reason's the way to live. He's like, he can have both. There's nothing wrong with that. And then he finds love in Anita, but like because their family has to leave India because of the financial times, and times are tougher, he says his goodbyes, and it's the last time they ever see each other. He says like, I remember everything about that day, just not saying goodbye. And then they leave on the ship, and like their crewmates, well, the chef isn't the best person in the world, but they meet the happy Buddhist vegetarian, because they're all vegetarians, and he's like, you know, gravy on the ship isn't meat, it's taste, and it's fine, you can join me.
Yeah, that's why I was like, wait a minute, what?
Yeah.
It's like, isn't gravy like a mixture of like other animals' meats or something? Like,
Just let the happy Buddhist be.
okay, vegetarian, right?
Yeah.
Not vegan. Okay, vegan's like none at all.
Yeah.
Vegetarian's like, alright, maybe an exception here and there.
And then since they're gonna make their fortune selling the animals, they bring the animals with them, with the cargo ship. And then after their stop in Manila, they sail to the Marianas Trench, where there's like a lightning storm, and he's like, Paya tells his brothers like, come on, let's watch the storm together. And he's like, I don't wanna, I'm sleepy, I'm seasick too, it's been a rough couple of days. And he's like, fine, I'll watch it by myself. He notices like things are going awry and things are starting to flood, and he tries to rescue his family, but he doesn't even get to say goodbye to his family because they're already submerged in water. Like, oh fuck, that's rough.
Yeah, but there were a couple of like animals that actually got out. So once he got to the life raft, they just kind of got tossed in the same situation as well. Well, some they kind of just picked up, like some were floating up on debris / bananas.
I love how the zebra just eats the chef onto the other side.
Yeah. Yeah, but we heard like he was kind of like an asshole, right?
Yeah. And yeah, he survives, but he doesn't have his family with him, and you see the ship going down like to the bottom of the ocean. You're like, oh shit, that's rough to see.
What a beautiful sight, though.
Yeah.
Like it in water, and then there's a haze of light from the remaining shit that was running.
Yeah.
Like
Hunting.
horrible.
Yeah.
But damn.
Yeah. I guess this is what Ang Lee does best, because I think before this he did the Eric Bana Hulk. I'm not too sure. And then there you're like, the CGI
That's a big upgrade.
Yeah, this is a big upgrade to that. And like on the ship, on the lifeboat is the zebra, and then eventually it's the orangutan. But he discovers the other passenger is the hyena, and like just one hyena is bad enough. So he tries to fend it off, and like there's a bit of a peace, but the hyena's a predator, and he smells the rotting zebra, and he decides to take a bite out of it, and like it takes the whole night for the poor thing to die. You're like, fuck, man, how are you gonna live with a rotting corpse?
I did like probably 2014, 13 when I watched this. I was like, I don't like seeing animals getting hurt, even though I do eat them. Like I just don't like seeing it on screen. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, fuck. So like when it's like nipping on the zebra while he was still alive, I was like, man, leave him alone.
Right? He also takes out the poor orangutan, which is a swift crack of the neck. You're like, fuck. And
Yeah,
you
yeah.
think the orangutan gets the upper hand. You're like, damn, I didn't know they were that strong. And then, unfortunately, the hyena is too quick for it. You're like, oh.
But dude, like, no, we'll get there when we get there. But I do love like the theories within this movie, though. Yeah, but we'll get there.
I do like it. Like, Pi has had enough of the hyena. And he's like goading the hyena. Like, come on, let's do this. And then Richard Parker just flies out the sheet. You're like, oh, fuck. Like,
Yeah.
You thought the hyena was bad news. This is worse.
The thing, like, people were asking, it's like, oh, why didn't the tiger come out before? It's like, everybody was on, like, tranquilized. They were all tranquilized.
Yeah.
They're seasick. They're on a boat. They're not in their element.
Probably that's why the hyena was also panicking, because he's like, I don't want to go in there. I really don't.
Yeah.
Like, you see how strong the tiger is, because Spy's trying to fend him with the oar. He's like, fuck your oar. And he goes to the raft. He's like, you know what? I'm going to be safe here. Nothing bad's going to happen. And now he has to coexist with Richard Parker. Like, how do I feed this tiger? If I don't, he's going to swim to me and rip me to shreds.
And that's the whole movie, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, I might be underselling it for just saying that that's it. It's just boy and tiger stuck on a boat for the rest of the fucking movie. No. Thing is, the things they experience while they're in sea.
Yeah.
While they're stuck together. Sure, nothing happens anymore. Not a lot happens anymore. Besides the Pai having to break his own rules of, like, eating a fish when religiously he can't do that.
Yeah.
And it breaks him. Him doing survival tricks and shit while trying to feed a tiger.
Yeah.
Because he did form a bond with it.
Yeah.
Of course, the movie's not gonna be like, yes, the tiger's sweet now to him. Nah. It's still gonna try to kill him if it had the chance.
Yeah. Like the scene when Pai thinks he has it down. He's like, he marks his territory, and the tiger's like, eat shit.
He just frees him. I'm like, oh fuck.
Like when Pai has all the food and water and the raft, and he's like, oh look, it's a pretty whale, and the whale just jumps, and you're like, that's fucking weight that's coming down on him. Shit.
Yeah, I was like, wow. Oh. Shit. You good? Yeah, because that sucks, man.
Yeah.
Like, he had all the supplies. The man got it. Because I think he was able to, like, catch Richard Parker off guard.
Yeah.
To steal the food and get it to his part of the raft. But this one fucking whale from all of this fucking ocean was just like, I like this spot. I was like, that whale had it out for you.
Yeah.
That's all I gotta say. It was like, from all this space,
Yeah.
he chose that.
Also like it when like the ratio changes too. Like for a bit I was like, is HBO broken? What the hell happened? And I was like, oh no, the ratios keep changing. I don't mind that because it is filmed in 3D back when 3D was like being shoved down your throat. We're like, fine, I want it in 3D. Fuck you. But no, like I do like him finally being like, you know what? I'm tired of risking my life to live with this tiger, and he does assert dominance at a point. He's like, look, I'm not gonna bother you. You won't bother me. Let's just live in this haphazard peace treaty. Like you just live under the sheets. I live on this side. We're good.
And he had it good for a while. He really did.
Yeah.
But I mean, throughout their entire journey, I love that downtime where, something that's very impossible is when the ocean is just still and mirror reflective. I'm like, I love that.
Yeah,
like, it would never happen, but like, I love that shit.
Love the scene when he's asking Richard Parker, like, what do you see? And then you see what Pai sees in the depths of the ocean. You're like, and then Richard Parker's like, what do you see?
You're good.
And I also love how he, after the flying fish spot, like they see like a big ass tuna. It's like, nah, bro, that's my tuna. You can live with the flying fish. I'm getting this.
I don't know. I don't think it was a tuna. I don't remember what. I'm not a fish person, but was it the one or like a parrot fish or something?
No, the parrot fish is the one he bludgeons to death.
Yeah, like the turn where he was like, okay, I gotta do this to live.
Yeah. That's again haunting though when you see the poor parrotfish be like, why? And then just go all gray. You're like, oh god, the poor thing.
The little light goes out and he's just saying sorry to Vishnu. I was like, I could never. I was like, Man, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
While watching that scene, I was just like apologizing to him.
You also see like the few creatures like you see the size of a whale shark. You're like, I forgot how big they are. Jesus Christ! Thank God
Yeah.
they just eat plankton.
Yeah, I keep forgetting that we have parts of the ocean where it's all like bioluminescent creatures all around it, so it just glows. So like,
Yeah.
that's beautiful. Yeah, it's just a spectacle. You're there for a story at the beginning, and
Yeah.
then middle part you're just there for the vibe.
Yeah. And then a storm comes, and Pai apparently just loves looking at storms, no matter how violent they are. He's like praising the gods for the storm, and he like tells Richard Parker, "Look at the storm, isn't it lovely?" And Richard Parker's like, "Why?"
I wanna die. like you see him, he's just like fuck.
And then he realizes, like, oh, this is not the way to go. This is not what the gods intended. I don't want to be cruel to this animal no more. He's just an animal. He doesn't know any better. At that point, they are starving to death, and he apologizes to Richard Parker. But they do run aground in this weird island that's dominated by meerkats. That's apparently never seen another predator before, because they're just like standing there while Richard Parker's like tearing their uncles and aunts to shreds. Like, all right, I guess they're like, fascinating. My uncle died via violence.
Like that was unheard of.
Yeah,
Like Richard Parker was just pretty much picking fruit at that point. You
yeah,
know? This meerkat, kill it right there. They're not gonna move. But yeah, and this whole island was just comprised of vines, leaves, and roots, which thankfully Pai took advantage of
yeah.
and just stored it onto the boat.
Hmm.
But then they did find out that like the fruit that it was bearing started having like human bones in it.
Yeah. And the water was acid apparently at night.
Yeah, it was acidic. Yeah.
That's why the meerkats were like, we're getting the fuck out of here. So he's like, well, this island allowed me to live, but if I stayed there any longer, I would have been lost forever, and I would have ended up like the guy who came before me. So he stocks up pile on like the fruits and like stocks up like murders a whole bunch of meerkats for Richard Parker. Like, poor things, they never saw it coming. They're like, human. But I do run aground finally in Mexico, and Richard Parker's just like, peace, I'm gone.
He just fades away. Yeah, he goes and like the dialogue that Pai had to himself, where he was like, I wasn't sad that I survived. Like I wasn't crying because I survived. I wasn't like, oh, finally, I touched the beach and felt the sand, and it was the face of God.
Yeah.
Or the cheek of God. No, it was the fact that after all that, Richard Parker just went peace, and it made him sad that he's not gonna see Richard Parker ever again. And now that we have a loose Bengal tiger in Mexico,
it's either captured or dead, because they're like, what the fuck is that supposed to be?
yeah, but yeah, and again, that show was heartbreaking. Though,
Yeah.
where he's like, really after all of that, just
Peace out, and that's it.
peace. Yeah.
Yeah.
When they had those moments of like, Richard Parker was too weak to even do anything. He was just cradling Richard Parker's head.
Yeah.
That was like our first ever touch.
Yeah.
The whole movie.
I mean, it's like, I guess life is composed of us letting go, but the thing that hits hard the most is never getting an opportunity to say goodbye. I never thank my father for teaching me the things he did, otherwise I would have never survived. Like, knowing that full context, I'm like, I didn't know this movie had the feels too. Fuck.
Yeah, but of course, since it was a Japanese vessel and we don't know what happened to it, people will come and investigate. And they were wanting him to like ask what happened while he was at sea, how the crash happened. He told them this amazing story about orangutans on floating bananas, zebras with tigers and shit.
Yeah.
Man-eating islands. And they were like, we can't put that in the report. So he puts this whole bullshit thing where I'm starting to think, oh fuck, maybe that's the whole thing.
Right? You're like,
where, yeah, there was a message behind it where the orangutan was his mom, the zebra was the happy Buddhist, the hyena was the chef, the tiger was him.
yeah,
While they tried to survive on this boat, and the fact that once they reached land, the tiger went into the forest or the jungle.
Yeah.
That was like him, his survival instincts, and all of that he has learned throughout that boat ride. Just leave as soon as he reached civilization. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
And they never answered, by the way. We never find out that, oh, maybe that was a story. Or maybe it was this.
Yeah, because you're like, he keeps talking about his dad, and you're like, that's cool and all, but your mom died too, man. So did your brother.
It's like, that lady was on your side the whole movie.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
But no, like but you see on the report, they go with the fantastical version of it. Or like what you were shown this entire time. So you're really like, what is the real version? Because the report ends with like, Mr. Pie's story is one of incredible survival. Not a lot of people can say they survived this long with a Bengal tiger. You're like, I just wonder what the company thought of. Like, what the fuck?
Hey, it does make sense because they were transporting a zoo.
True, but they're like, of all the animals to be stuck with.
I don't think you have a choice.
Yeah. But thankfully, Pie does get a happy ending. I forgot to mention that Pie, the adult Pie, is portrayed by the late Irfan Khan.
Amazing acting, sadly.
Yeah, gone.
He recently passed like 2 years ago.
Yeah, 2 years or a year ago. Great actor too. But yeah, Pie does have a happy ending. Though I was hoping his wife was Anita, but that's not what fate decided. So, but he does have a good life, and like even the guy's like, oh, so you do have a happy ending. He's like, depends on how you look at it. So the moral of this review is that not every Oscar movie has to be super depressed or super like gives you like the 30-yard stare of like, god damn, what did I watch?
You mean the 1,000-yard stare?
1,000-yard stare. I was like,
but yeah, it doesn't have to be avant-garde. It doesn't have to be, again, as Enzo said, depresso or an action flick.
Yeah.
Of any type. No, it can be slow. It could just be the whole vibe of the movie. And I don't know. At some points, you could just turn off your brain at one point in this movie and just be like, wow.
Yeah.
And that's what I like about it.
Honestly, if you're in a party and this movie's on, you can just leave it on the middle part forever and be like, it's just a nice vibe.
Exactly. And then, like, when pretty stuff happens, I'm like, hey, oh shit, look at that.
Yeah. Well, what would you rate Life of Pi?
Life of Pi? Probably one of my favorite movies of the 2010s.
Yeah.
And again, it's such a shame that I didn't watch it in theaters, and I still haven't. But God, the performance was great. The story was great. CGI was amazing, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't look obvious at all. And again, how much? Like, no, you can't say that about a lot of movies where you think that it's pretty much an amazing movie when you can turn off your brain and just be like, okay. You know, you just appreciate, again, the vibe. Yeah. But yeah, I love this movie. I really do. And probably giving it a 10 out of 10. And I really recommend like people to watch this. Don't pass it up. Trust me. Don't believe what other people say. Like, oh, it's an Indian movie. No, okay. One, no, it's not. And two, doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah.
A good movie is a good movie. Doesn't matter who's in it or where it's from.
Yeah. You know what? I'll also give this a 10 out of 10. Like, I don't really see anything wrong with this movie. Like, it's not too slow, it's not too fast. It's literally just a good vibe. Like, the first half is all about philosophy, and like, it's literally like growing up. It's like your brain absorbing everything you can, and the middle part is like you're trying to figure out how you survive in this world. The last part is like not the end of your life, but like I've gotten this far and I'll see how far I'll go, but I'm thankful for the journey I've been on. Uh, Despite the ups and downs, and definitely despite the downs of life, I'm here right now, and if it weren't for that, I wouldn't be the person I am. So it speaks to life itself, and a really good movie. And as you said, it doesn't matter what country it's from. A good movie is a good movie, and you shouldn't pass it up just because it's not from the regular Western versions of what you think movies are supposed to be. Yeah, 10 out of 10 is a really great movie, and I don't know a lot of people who talk about it to the extent that we're talking about.
Dude, we always do this. We
Yeah.
always fucking do this. Every time we're like in a bus or we're just hanging out at a mall, we always come back to Life of Pi, where we're like, why isn't anybody talking about Life of Pi? As like one of the greatest, almost one of the greatest movies out there. And I was like,
Yeah.
well, in our opinion, of course, but it's still a great movie though.
Yeah. But yeah, that's been our video on The Life of Pi. What do you guys think? Comment down below. What other foreign movies should we cover? Whether they're from India, Japan, China, Europe, South America, please comment down below. You can find us at TikTok and Spotify. Spotify to hear us on the go. TikTok to see our best and funniest moments. Individually, you can find me at Gandalfus995 on Twitter. How about you?
Oh, you can find me at JohnGOM_ on Instagram. It is my art account.
And that's it for now. We'll see you on the next one. Bye, everybody.
Ciao.